Yeah. Yeah, before the rapper busy man shit, nigga. They take their head off, nigga.
Okay, where Eve didn't Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no hope lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert, another cop can stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, this an exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening, is effective. If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jacob. So I walk, we gon' run this summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do baby, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit like it ain't about who got this gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain frame. Shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitch about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign. Yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
I got you. Let it vibe real quick. Look. The city eyes, it's time to vogue off. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shot in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, when tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation falls till you fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit fitted, times two. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Coded in the ambulance, way above average. Fierce taste, he told him make me an apple tree. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Java, come on, man. Dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evans to a mall quad. Telling me how them crackers turn this childhood to a ghost town. Poke a stop, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no change. Try to warn them niggas we bear arms like tarantulas. Them mother niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen prophets under this banner. Make my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty Diana. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo, spirit Asian, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Wardo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Pay me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Ride around with Yahanna, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than Baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence,
44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and they head with that shit.
Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I fed it, nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They said you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. And it feel like Jeepers Creepers. Say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney swings. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch. Don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. If you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine then. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I fed. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. I.S.U.P.K top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that econ line into a damn tank. I got chopper stash in the attic like they Air Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my houses. Yes, you said so. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. Payback is a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom be busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a door. Payback is a door. Payback is a door. Payback is a door.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gonna be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember Yahanna's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in his dress. She a bombshell. Revenge is served cold. I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box. I swear got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous. I bought brand new parabellums.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a door. Payback is a door. Payback is a door. Payback is a
Going to be the same. It's the same thing with black people. It's not going to be the same. You understand? All right. Now, today is the so-called what? Not so-called, but the closing of what? Hanukkah, right? And for black people, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the Lord gave us what? Holidays that we should what? Celebrate. And Hanukkah was one of them. And the Lord did what? He gave us what? 8 days. 8 days to party away. 8 days. You understand? Right. Don't think you're coming here to be a Israelite and you're gonna be like, you know what I mean, and somehow you're gonna end up like a Christian with a tambourine, you know what I mean, at your hip. You understand? No. None of that. You know what I mean? Men of the Lord, men who serve the Lord don't look like Christian men. You understand? They don't look like Christian men. Give me that where say where Christ asked was speaking about, was describing John. All right, give me 1 minute. Show him, sir. Yeah, come, sir. No, I didn't see if that message. I'm gonna have to check, sir. I'm gonna check. Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Yeah, come on. All right. Okay, yeah. Somebody got Yahanna, I might need it. Take the Yahanna, take general. All right. You all have it? Yeah, he have a mic right there. Someone right here. What the mic is All right. You have a mic for the Shalom, sis. Huh? Okay. All right, Akim and Akwat. If you all have any questions, just raise your hand. And I brought.
Y'all making out? Good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, somebody done started a war, huh? I love it. Everybody was all right getting in? Yeah. That's what's up. Anybody got any questions that they want to ask to start off? If not, I'll go all into what I like to go into. But if you got a question, I'll be glad to take it. If it's one online, we could do that too. See some new faces here. Who's new here? Anybody first time? It's your first time here? What's your name? Day. All right, nice to meet you, brother. And yourself, this your third? Yeah, what's your name? Huh? Darren? All right. You're going to lose them names soon. Yeah, man. All right. Okay. I'm listening.
There's no questions.
Oh, no questions. Okay. Okay. I'm just get this camera set up for a second. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ken. Yeah. You got a map of it? I meant to ask you about it. Oh, you saying there's a question?
Yeah, just a question. I don't know if you could.
Can you pull up a map?
Yeah. Pull up a map. Major rivers in the
Mm-hmm.
in the Middle East.
Somebody had a question? No? Y'all good? All right. All right. Let's see if we can get one in. No, I don't need no help at all. I'm good with it. I think so. Anyway. Sure. We'll know in a second if I screw it all up. Looking for this charger. Yeah. Huh? All right. Come on. I'm waiting on you, bro.
If I could, I don't want. I got a question in Isaiah 46:11, sir.
Isaiah 46:11. Let's read it.
Come on, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 11. Calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executed my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it. I will also do it. This is one of the general breakdown. I don't want Baba Kasha.
General breakdown?
Comic-Con.
Oh, of that scripture.
Comic-Con, sir.
All right. Plug this in for me. Let's go up above it and see if he's talking about Israel.
Comic-Con, sir. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 10. Declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. Verse 11, calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executed my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it and I will also do it.
The Lord is going to bring a nation from the east. And this nation is going to be like a ravenous bird. It's going to be an animal that's hungry to eat. And it's going to want to gobble up everything that the Lord wants them to destroy. This bird is not us, though. This bird is one of the Eastern nations. I'm going to go into it and I'll let you know exactly which one, all right? One of the ones that is going to be coming from the east is those Persians, the Iranians, Salakia. They're going to come from the east. The Orientals will be coming from the east. All of them will carry out the Lord's vengeance. And they're going to do it like a Benjamite does it, like he's starving and hungry. They're going to gobble it up like who? Let me get I got one more thing to pull out. Bear with me, y'all. Tonight is a special night. The reason it's special is because everything that's going on with us went on thousands of years before now. What you see going on in the Middle East happened thousands of years ago. This is a repeat of that. And it's important because what we're going to find out tonight is the real reason we got overrun and destroyed in 70 AD. It was our sins. What verse was that again? Isaiah what and what?
Come on, the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 10, sir. All right. Declaring the end from the
okay, no, I got it.
Oh, come on, sir.
I'm just gonna get the east country, the nation from the east. The nation from the east is China. The Lord is going to bring China into the battle. And China, like he did in the past, just like Moab did before, when he was supposed to curse Israel, instead, he turned around and blessed Israel and said, whoever comes up against this nation shall be destroyed. And guess what? This time we're in now, all these nations are going to be destroyed for coming up against Israel, for all this that have taken place. So that's that scripture. Anybody else before I go into it? I'm ravenous on this scripture I'm ready to bring. Oh, go ahead. Shalom. Good to see you, brother.
Daniel 12 and 5, sir.
Daniel 12 and 5. Let's get it. Say again.
Come on.
Read it.
The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 5. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river.
Right. Let's go up above it. Take it from 1.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of the people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Verse 2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Verse 3.
So what Michael was showing him, what the angel was showing him, was these last days. And that when Michael would stand up, when we get ready to go to war against these nations, because this world right now is about to go into a deep, deep war. It's going to be a mess on this planet. Right. So the angel was showing Daniel ahead of time. This is what's going to happen. The very end, Michael will stand up. We getting ready to go to war. And he's breaking it down to him. Go ahead. Keep going.
Verse 3, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament.
Those that have the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High, a.k.a. us, we're going to shine like stars. We're starting to shine like stars now. You see us getting real popular. Where everybody's like, yo, what are they talking about? It was a time when we were so hated People used to look at us. We were so hated. They were so angry with us. You notice now people are listening. You rarely get a battle unless you say Edomite, and most of them trying to kiss the boot. So you know what I mean. So it's changing now. It's changing now because, of course, nobody in the earth has any understanding, but we do. I just did a lecture in Texas, and I could have swore, I could be wrong. I'm gonna ask the brothers though. But I could have swore tons of Israelites who were living in other countries, not tons of them, but a few of them were sitting in the audience trying to hear what we're saying about what's going on in the Middle East. So it's getting heard all over the world now. You see Tazariak's getting on them big shows now. They coming in from other countries talking to us. I did one with the Russians last year. Muhammad is traveling all over Canada. It's the time now. This place is going to get real bad, but the ones that have the knowledge of the Lord, we're going to shine. Go ahead. Keep going.
And they that turn to righteousness as the stars forever and ever.
We're going to shine. We're going to be, the great thing on the earth. And that ever and forever is us being in the kingdom of heaven. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. Let's go.
Verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book.
So he told them to shut this up. Don't let these prophecies come out, which they didn't come out. We didn't start coming back out till 1969.
Kind of one.
Before 69, everything was shut down. Everybody believed the white man was the Jew and we was nothing. Now everybody's beginning to see that this could be different. This could be, something that they didn't expect. Go ahead.
Even to the time of the end.
Right. Even to the time of the end. That's where we at now. We in the time of the end. Salaki, just trying to get the tape over. We in that time of the end now. Everything's going to come out. It's going to be beautiful. Go ahead.
Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
That's right.
Verse 5. Then I, Daniel.
And when it say to and fro, all of our people been running around for years going into other philosophies, right or wrong. Tina Turner, before she died, she was bigging up that religion she's in. Buddha. Is that what it is? She was bigging up that religion. For years and years and years, we bigged up Islam. Pushed Islam we just found ourselves. Come to find out now, we all took on an Arab religion. You know what I mean? And we as black people, imagine it. We as black people are offended when another black person says Islam's not real. Now, how could you've been a slave 400 years, and you offended that one of your fellow brothers who also been a slave 400 years happens to disagree with you that we're not Arabs, happens to disagree with you that we don't believe ourselves to be Arabs. It's ridiculous. Like you should, we should be open to anything when it comes to belief in another nation. Like anybody coming to us with belief in another nation, we should be real, like we ain't sure. We skeptical. But they confident as hell. But they going away too. They going away. I know they don't think they are. Meaning not going away as a religion, but they're going to go away from the black community. They could never fit in the black community. The only way Islam was able to really fit in the black community was because of Farrakhan. Because Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan. Elijah Muhammad made a sect of Muslims who was able to, who black people was able to conform to. It wasn't until we got into their philosophy that we tried to join the Arabs. And once we joined the Arabs, we gave our spirit up. Look at all the greats, Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all those great brothers who eventually went into the deeper level of Islam, just became silent, gave up were no longer revolutionaries. They just became regular brothers. They humbled themselves to that religion. And brother, it never would have worked for us. And furthermore, we could never have the self-esteem we needed to get free from this place if we had believed in the Arabs. If we looked at the Arabs the same way we looked at this white man. Christianity, Islam, same thing. Y'all get the point. Keep going. What verse you at?
Verse 5, sir. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river.
What Daniel didn't realize was that that angel had two other angels with him. So he didn't realize it, because while this angel is talking to him and he all locked in with this angel's breaking this thing down to him. Then all of a sudden he realized, hold up, there's two more of them here. And as he talking to him on this river, the angels is posted up on both sides of the river. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 6. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders?
So in other words, he's standing there, Daniel's standing there. The angel breaks it down to him. Then he notices there are two more angels on each side of the bank. And while them two angels are on both sides of the bank, one of the brothers that's standing out there who heard what was being said, who doesn't realize these are angels, he walks up to one of the angels and says, how long is this going to be, man? How long? He don't realize he's talking to an angel. He thinks this is just a man of wisdom or something like that. So he goes up to him and asks him, how long is this going to be? I heard what your man was saying over there. And it was kind of deep, man. But when is this going to happen? Go ahead.
Verse 7. And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the rivers, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a times and half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished.
Meaning when we go through our punishment, meaning when he go to spread us, like we are now, we in America, we in every country in the world, we all over the place. He said, once the Lord finished punishing us, finished scattering us, then these things that I'm telling Daniel, they're getting ready to happen. And Lord knows that's where we at now. You know what I mean? And that's why, once again, don't let nobody gas you up about the Bible. Do not let them do it. Do not let them give you another nation to worship. Don't let them do it. Don't let them take away your identity out of the Bible. And listen, if your identity is not in the Bible, then I don't care how heavy this book is, we should walk away from it. You know why? Because we've been a slave 400 years. It's one thing we should never do is go back to being a slave again. Right. If one day we come in here and we found out, the Bible is really a white man's book. These are white people. It's time to roll. Right. Even though they be right, even though every prophecy right, every scripture right, we still out. That's right. Because of course we can't serve another nation. That's right. And so you understand that'll never happen. Damn, that'll never happen. And that's why you can't allow yourself to be stolen from this truth. You can't allow yourself to become a victim of another nation. Now it's going to be offensive. Some cats going to get offended by this. You understand? But nobody stopped every religion on earth from proselytizing our brothers. We done been everything. We done been Buddhists, Hindus, Muslims, Hare Krishnas. I saw a Negro a couple years back, had the orange robe on, all wrapped up, the 3 dots on his head shaved. He in the airport collecting money. We done been Moonies. We been the Moonies. Right. We done been everything but who we should be, but who our identity is. And these prophecies are for us. That's also why nobody can decipher them. Nobody can decipher these prophecies because they're not for them. They're for our nation. You understand? And so the Lord spits on these different nations, man. Right. And he doesn't look at them as anything special. And so we shouldn't look at it as anything special. And we shouldn't look at their religions as anything special. You know what I'm saying? We are fighting for our survival and our race. And our race makes up 12 tribes. And guess what? We can't trade it for nobody. You understand what I'm saying? We can't trade this, man. And listen, and it ain't once again, we ain't trying to offend nobody. What we are trying to do is show deep love for our own. You understand? We trying to show deep love for our own. And that's just that. Is that it on that, or we going one more verse?
You answered my question, sir.
Most High in Christ.
The water, sir.
Most High in Christ.
Most High in Christ.
All right. All right. And Daniel came back eventually and said he heard it, but he understood not. I'm reading the 8th verse. Oh, my Lord, what shall the end of these things be? Because once again, just like right now, back then, man, for Daniel being in captivity in the Babylonian Empire, it was hard, man, to understand that you're not going to be a slave, that there's a better life coming, that there's a kingdom being set up, that all this is spiritual, that something special is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's hard when you done, survived at your wits, been in captivity. It's very difficult for a Christian to give up Christianity. Most of the time, it's the Lord that intervenes to give you something to get you away from that church. Because without it, it's hard for you to get your spirit out of it. But eventually, Daniel got it too. Wrote it out, laid it out, and we reading about it later. All right? So, that's it on that?
Kind of one card.
All right. I want to talk about blood and guts. I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging with us. And we're going to get in it for water Q. Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question. Y'all can help me decide which direction we want to go. Because I can show you, we can talk about what we went through to build our temple back, which we eventually lost. Or I could show you to you this way. I could show it to you based on the horrific hell we went through and why we went through this horrific hell, how dumb and stupid we were to allow ourselves to end up in this situation. Now, which way y'all want to go? Any takers? The ladder? I like the blood and guts too. Man, all right. In and about 137 AD, I'm going to walk it to the end and I'm walking you back. We had to fight the Greek Empire. We kicked their ass. Excuse my French for the babies. We kicked they behind. We ran them out of Jerusalem. We stood up. Judas Maccabees and them, Matthias, his father, stood up. Them Levites, that tribe of Levi ain't no joke. You see, they got free from them French, right? You see, like they work some machete, brother. Like what's the name of that top musician that be doing them performances? Huh? Yeah, Chris Angel. They work some machete like Chris Angel do that magic. Arm off. Them Levites know how to work that thing. Okay, so they fought, they won, which is what we're going to read about, and which is why we're here tonight. And they did an amazing thing. Here's the jam up. Shortly after they did that, Christ came on the scene, sealed us all up. And then later on in 70 AD, we completely cut our own throat and destroyed everything they did. So I got to walk you. So I'm going to start at the back end and bring you back to the high holy day and show you what we lost and why it was so evil. What I'm going to read to you right now comes from the historical records of the Roman Empire. All right. And I want you to hear something. And then I'm going to the Josephus. Now, most of you will not have a Josephus. You might be able to pull it up online. I think we got Wi-Fi in here. So I'm going to be reading out of the Josephus. I'm going to be reading. I hope I ain't confusing y'all with all this. But I'm going to be reading out of the Josephus what took place. Bear with me a second. I'm going to clarify everything. All right? Let's go. Let's go. Is anybody here does not is there anyone here that does not know about the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD? Anybody? Hands? It's all right. Everybody familiar with it? Okay. Everybody knows that in 70 AD, Titus marched on Jerusalem and destroyed Jerusalem. What you don't know is that our nation was strong and powerful after this event that we're celebrating tonight. And we totally screwed it up. Let me read a little history for you, all right? And see if I can give you some understanding on it. Here's what it says. In fact, give me a reader. Somebody that could come up here and read something for me. I want you to read this for me. The word's a little bit small, and I want to break it down. Be careful if you can and not change it off the page. Can you see that? It's a bit tiny. Start from the top. No.
Where it say the Persians right here?
Yeah, you're going to read this whole thing.
Okay,
to the end of the highlighted part. I went above the highlighted part just a little bit.
It says the history.
Listen to this good, y'all. Go ahead.
It says the Persians, Cyrus II of Persia, conquered the Babylonian Empire by 539 BCE.
So now, the Babylonians ruled the world. All right? That was Jeremiah. All of them was in that empire. Right? The Persians came along, destroyed them. Okay? Anybody know who the Persians are? The Iraqis. All right? Iraqis today. Those are the remnants of the Persian Empire. Okay? They came in and destroyed the Babylonian Empire. Go ahead.
And included Judah and Palestine in the Persian Empire.
They took us in and put us under them as well. Everybody familiar with that? Nehemiah, them brothers, remember Cyrus eventually told us, go back and build Jerusalem, right? Get us back on track. Go ahead.
The Persians allowed Jews to return to the regions that the Babylonians had exiled from. The exiled Jews who returned to the lands they had left, surrounded by a much larger non-Jewish majority.
We was in Jerusalem, in our area, surrounded by a bunch of people carrying out partially our, scriptures, our laws, but they were not us. That's who Christ was talking about when he said, go not onto any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not. Because those was the tons of heathens that were around us that was trying to take on our identity. Go ahead.
One group of were the Samaritans, who practiced most rites of the Jews and claimed to be descendants of the Assyrian Jews.
Right. They claimed to be the descendants of the ones that were enslaved in Assyria. This so-called Jew today is trying to claim his Sephardic side to go back to these people right here. None of these are Jews. They weren't Jews. That's why even in the history they say these were not Jews, but they were surrounding themselves, following our identity, trying to be us. Okay, which is what's going on today. Go ahead.
They were not recognized as so. The Nabateans,
which once again, why our identity is everything. Our identity is so important. And in ancient times, we so held on to our identity. Remember, we came back. We were cast out. And we came back under Cyrus. And when we came back, they were already there. We didn't give a damn. We're like, they ain't Jews. Being Judah, Benjamin, and Levi at the time. We did not care. They wasn't us. We let them go. It is one of the most important things in the world for our identity. Like, that's all this is about. If you don't understand that's what it's about, go look up every war that's ever taken place in the in this world. Why did they drop a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Yeah.
To show their might.
Right, but what was their justification?
Also, like the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Right. Why was it okay for them to drop a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki when they were invaded by the Japanese? Because it was Japanese. It wasn't no white nation. You ain't hear them drop no nuclear bomb. Remember, they were fighting the Germans. Right. The Japanese were the ones helping them. But they weren't the ones to make. If they had dropped the nuclear bomb, you understand, in Germany, the war would have been over. Right. But they didn't drop a bomb on them because they knew they were fellow Edomites. Instead, they went and dropped it on the dropped 2 of them on the Japanese. Our race is everything right now. It's so, it's so everything. It's the glue that makes us who we are. And it's so important in this time. Give me a little more.
Come on. The Nabateans, an ancient Arabic people, referred in the Bible as Nebaioth, sons of Ishmael.
When you hear them talk about Petra in the ancient world, all them, because they lived up in them rocks, that's where Obadiah got the term from. Thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock. Because when you go to Petra in the Middle East, that's where they were at. These Arabs and Edomites lived. They built their buildings and they built their whole nation inside the rocks. And so later on, they started out as Arabs. Later on, they became Edomites. And the Edomites who conquered them and took them over lived in those caves. And that's why Obadiah named them the way he did. All right, so let's keep going.
Come on. Sons of Ishmael made inroads by way of Jordan into southern Palestine and built a separate civilization in the Negev. Negev, Khan, that lasted until 160 BCE.
So they turned around and built their whole own society with our laws in the same area. Everybody was attracted to us, just like they are today. Everybody's attracted to black people, our style, our music, our culture, everything. Everybody's sucked into this, to our way of life, not to pay homage and respect to us, but to gain wealth off of us, to get rich off of us, not to be us, but to use us. And that's what's killing us in this planet. It's killing us on this planet, which is also why God is smarter than dumb man. God, the Lord made us above these nations so that we would never, so that the earth could be in its right order. Right. Because it's like we're like a child with with diamonds in our hand. Everybody wants it. It's supposed to be for us. If we don't pay attention, they take it all from us. Right. And we end up with nothing, and they boast themselves above us. That's why it's got to be changed. Go ahead,
Khan says Ptolemaic dynasty. The Persian Empire fell under the Greek forces of the Macedonian general Alexander the Great.
Alexander the so-called Great conquered the Persian Empire. We kicked the Greeks behind. They wasn't all that. Alexander the Great, civilization started with the Greeks. That's a big lie. That's a long-told big lie. We kicked the Greeks behind because we were strong. And you're going to see in this historical record why we were so strong. Give me some more.
Khan. After his death, the region of the Jews, Judea, as it became known, was the first part of the Ptolemaic dynasty.
That's why if you ever want to know why they called it Judea, why did they call all 3 of those tribes Jews? Because if you was a Benjamite or a Levite living in Jerusalem, they still called you a Jew. They still called you that because it was easier for the heathens to lump us together and say these are all Jews. This is Judea. And so they renamed the area. Give me a little bit more.
Khan. In 167 BCE, after Antiochus issued decrees in Judea forbidding religious practice by the Jews, a priest, Mattathias.
Hey, aren't y'all on the Southern Poverty Law list as a hate group?
Right.
Read that again.
Khan. It says, after Antiochus issued decrees in Judea forbidding religious practice by the Jews, a priest, Mattathias the Hasmonean, sparked the revolt against the Greek Seleucid Empire.
Now, this is the high holy day. This is the day we're in right now. This event, which we're getting ready, we're going to come back to it. But I want to show you the end result of us and why this end result happened and why this great day, while great that we celebrate, wonderful that we come together on it, we better understand and not make this same mistake again. Boy, we better understand this. Okay? Give me a little bit more.
Khan. Refusing to worship the Greek gods.
He didn't worship the Greek gods. Why was it so important that the Greeks wanted us to worship their gods? That's why I could never be a Muslim. That's why I could never, ever, ever be a Christian. That's why I could never be, you know, whatever religion you got out there. I'll die first. For this reason, why would the Greek Empire, why did the emperor of the whole Greek Empire declare that the Jews could not serve their religion? Who had their hand up? Go ahead, Op.
Because, like I said, if I may, they understood that, you know, in order to destroy a nation, you know, you could disconnect them from their heritage or their God.
Listen, you absolutely right. Give him a hand, Op. Like that's a weighty matter. The weighty matter is that's how you put somebody in slavery. You take away their belief system. You destroy their culture. You wipe them out from what they believe and you give them your identity and your culture. If you go to church, it's because you're a slave. If you believe you're a Muslim, it's because you're a slave. Right. Because you don't have your own God. Every nation has a God. You don't have your God, something is wrong. And there's a reason for it. It's a reason an emperor will say, let them not have their religion. Let them come learn this religion. And where did the Baptist church, the biggest black set of churches are the Baptists and the Protestants. Where do both of them come from? The Baptist church comes from the South, from the annals of slavery. Via the English that came to the United States. And the Protestant church, I mean, they are genocidal maniacs. The Protestant church wiped out so many Gadite tribes and Gadite nations. Like we looked at as the hate group. And you know why we looked at as the hate group? Because once again, to keep the philosophy going, you can't be bringing all this up. This stuff we talking about, you can't be talking about. They want that to go away. Right. Let's just quiet all that down. It's a new day. Let's just believe in Jesus. Think about all the good things we could get because now we believe in Jesus. And let's don't go back into all that. You understand? But you see me? I just want to know about nothing but it.
That's right.
I want to know about every slimy, evil deed that these bastards did to us. I want to know about it. You know what I'm saying? I want to categorize it. I want the understanding of it. Right. I want to know why it happened. Right. Why do I got to be the only one? They got museums all over this country, do they not? You can go to all kind of historical sites. They got statues of every general, every murderer, every, you know what I mean, George Washington and all these slave owners. They got the records of their constitutions, their records, all that. But when you want to go back and dig up your records, find out what happened to you and your people, then it's a problem. Right. And then it's a little bit of an issue. Right. Give me a little bit more.
He and his son, he and his 5 sons fled to the wilderness of Judea.
And how you gonna be a slave and not fight against the religion of the slave master? I don't get it. You're a slave. If your people been enslaved, the number one thing you're supposed to be doing is rejecting the slave master's religion. Right. That's what like that's supposed to be the number one thing you're supposed to be pushing against. Right. We got to get our mind free, man, from this place. Right. You understand? The beautiful part is we got a king that doesn't require us to kill. Because if he had required us to kill, y'all would have read about me. You wouldn't have known me because I'd have been dead already. But you surely would have read about me. You understand? Because I would have understood what the mission was. You know what I mean? Or how they say, I would have understood the assignment. Right. Isn't that how they say it? I would have understood it because what they've done to us is heinous. But thanks be to the Lord, all we got to do is repent for what we did. We don't have to go out and be the things that they want to label us with. And here's what's so ironic about it. And also shows you that learning the truth about you is far more dangerous than anything. Right. Brothers is shooting up and killing in every city, right or wrong. Right now, in every city in America, black people are and Latinos are going wreck in these cities. They running up in stores. I heard a news report where they was doing carjacking on the highway. How you jack a nigga on the highway? What? How you get him to stop? I'm looking at the tape like, how they get this nigga to stop? Because I'm running you the hell over. You try to jack me, it's gonna be pop, 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 pop. As I'm going back, shoo, my foot on the gas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let the highway cam figure it out. They can come knock on my door, man. You was shooting on the highway. Yeah, I was. You know what I mean? But we doing all of that. But guess what? What we saying, they ain't calling them terrorists.
Right.
But what you having a mind to be free is worse. You having a mind to not be caught up into the philosophies of society that you brought up with is far more dangerous to them. For the same reason, this king, this emperor, declared that we would not have our religion. I'm gonna move on a little. I know I'm dragging. Come on with it.
Come on,
Give me a little bit more.
About 1 year after his death, his son Judah Maccabee led an army of Jews descendants to victory.
That's right.
The
Which is tonight's night. We will read about. He went and fought and kicked them Greeks behind.
Right.
And did it masterfully. Took all them brothers and sisters up in the woods. Damn right. Give it up. Hey, look, that's in the spirit. No, that was in the spirit. You right. He deserved it tonight. That brother deserved it tonight. And listen, and every real warrior deserves to be recognized.
Right.
You understand? I mean, listen, I love to watch LeBron James, but that's not the warrior we need.
Right.
Like this ain't gonna get us free.
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? I don't see this on a coin, y'all. I don't see this on no museum wall from the ancient days.
Right.
You know.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Have you? I don't see it. Go ahead.
But it's crazy how this whole story is parallel to America today, because there's a section in that story of where they had gyms, they had the gymnastics, and
we're gonna read about it. Yeah, like they took us from us and brought us into their world. And by bringing us into their world, we gave up our world and we became willing slaves.
Right.
We got to be slaves until we free, but we don't got to be willing slaves.
That's right.
You understand? Give me some more.
The kingdom of Judea controlled most of the region of Palestine.
We was badass. We was badass. Kept them Greeks at bay. All that Greek talk. We didn't give a damn about none of that. We was slaying them, slaying the Arabs, slaying the Edomites, pushing them all back. Go ahead, Al.
So like I said real quick, and they have the world thinking that the Greek warriors were so great.
Yeah.
But they had mercenaries in their army. It wasn't all Greek warriors that was fighting for them.
Exactly. They hired tons of other people. And furthermore, I ain't got no respect for nobody who puts their warriors on their ancient pottery naked. Like that was their biggest thing. The warrior he was naked. You know what I mean? Like you mixing war with porn and everything else. That's why this, you know what I mean? That's why America messed up now. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know if you want to be disgusting or if you want to go to war, or you don't want to, or you want to be sodomites. They don't even know what they want to do now.
Right.
Now you got to, you see, listen, I'm in the airport, right? I'm coming up in the airport and I'm watching people walk up to the bathroom confused. They doing this. Should I go in? Can I go in this one? Look, I said, I'll be like, good night. They don't know what they are no more. I'm not playing that, man. I'm sorry. I'm not doing none of that.
That's right.
I'm not trying to understand it. I'm not doing none of that. You know what I mean? I'm getting fired from the job. They can bring me in the office. Excuse me, Mr. Yahanna. You seem to refuse to use the proper pronouns. I have to let you go. Good riddance. We could do better.
That's right.
We could do better. And listen, what burns in me is the fact that I know we could do better, and I can't get enough of it. It's like you having a wonderful child that you know is brilliant, but he lazy. He brilliant, but he hard-headed. He brilliant, but he want to be in the streets. It's like you be like, look, you can get your behind in that damn class. I'm gonna bust you. That's how I feel every day. I wake up every day mad that we don't do and haven't accomplished what is so precious to us. Give me some more.
Con. Without the
Wait, before you
Negev.
go any further, y'all feel a little warm in here?
Con.
Can we? I know you told him. He, see, hard-headed, don't want to let. We could do better. You know what I'm saying? Come on, let's ride.
Con. Without the Negev, West Bank, Golan.
Remember the West Bank, the Golan Heights, what you hearing about today, Gaza. That was our land. We ruled all that.
That's right.
We had all that area. Go ahead.
Gaza Strip.
And we established it. Remember, after running the Greeks out, we established it. We established it on a Hanukkah night just like this. Come on with it.
And part of Eastern Jordan, the Romans.
And so you understand, Jordan, what they call Jordan today, is also our land. And Nathak said he would try to get me a map so I could show y'all. Is he got it? Okay, we'll pull it back up in a little bit. But Jordan is part of our land as well. That's not a different nation. Okay. I need a closer shot if I could. You got a better one? There you go. No, right. Come on back out just a bump. One bump out. No, I mean you had it out just a minute ago. Yeah, there you go. A little bit. Bingo, right there. Right there. Let's take this for a second. Stick with me. Just slide out. Everybody wait for a second. Right now, today, this is the land. This is for everybody that may not know. This is the land of Jerusalem. This is your homeland. It's where you come from. Can y'all see it with me standing here? When you saw the brother saying that, I lost it. When you saw the brothers, the water. This is the Negev that he was talking about. Petra is down in this area as well. Okay. This is right here. This is the Sinai Peninsula. It's considered part of Egypt now. But back then, it was part of our land. Okay. But now it's considered part of Egypt. This land over here, all of this, that they consider Jordan, that's our land as well. They separated it at the river. But really, it all belongs to us. We was just reading about Daniel. He was talking about this river and an angel being on both sides. Right now in Dimona is where y'all heard about that group that went back to Jerusalem in the 60s, started living there. This is where they were living at, in Dimona. Right now, the beast put nuclear weapons down there. That's why nobody will mess with them. This is the Gaza Strip right here. We ruled over this land. We had to fight the Palestinians. When you hear about David, King David fighting them Philistines, this is where he was fighting at. Same place they bombing right now. He was fighting them tooth and nail because they was our arch enemies. Them Philistines was our arch enemies. Okay? And we had to battle them day and night to win this land. And we really couldn't beat them until David. Once David became king, David kicked their ass out. Kicked their behind out of there. Okay? And so this is it. Here's Hebron, Bethlehem, Jericho. All of these now are considered the Arab area. All of this right here, this whole white area here is run by the Arabs. But it's really our land. And this is the land they fighting over. This is where the dispute is at, here and here. And I don't know if you heard some of what I brought out in the lecture in Texas, how they want to run. You can't see it on here well, but there's a canal here called the Suez Canal. Y'all heard of it before, right? That canal is where they turn around and bring ships through, make tons of money off of it. Something like 90 billion a year or something. The Israelis want to cut through here and start another canal and take over and kill the Egypt, because the Egyptians getting this money now. They want to start another one through here, right around here, and they want to start making their money off it. And they want to use nuclear weapons to do it. So they got to take the people off the land, because if they blow up a nuclear weapon and they kill those people over there, it's going to be an international incident. So they know they can't do it, so they got to run them off the land. All this about they got bombed and all of that, please. They done killed like 30,000 people already for one little bombing for 1,200 people's lives. They killed 30,000. That's BS. They wiping them off the land. All right. So we might come back to it. Pass this back to you. We get a little more. I just want to note the time. 8 o'clock. Ooh, we're cutting the time. Hey, if y'all want to start moving some food out, I know y'all ain't come for class. Y'all can't get a plate. We can start feeding everybody, y'all. All right, brothers, sisters. All right. Give me a little. Can you get it?
Come on, sir. It says, after about a century of independence, disputes led to the control of over the kingdom by the Roman army.
Now, listen to me good. It said over. Read that part again.
Come on. After about a century of independence.
A century. 100 years. After this incident, this high holy day we studying right here tonight. Because we were strong against them Greeks. Because we would not assimilate to their way of life. Because Mattathias did not bend to the will of the Greeks and give up his identity to the Greeks, which again we will read in the Maccabees. We had 100 years of independence, 100 years of building the temple, being independent, standing on top. Let's read how we lost it. Let's read how we lost it and learn a lesson tonight. Go ahead,
Come on. Disputes led to the control over the kingdom by the Roman army.
What led to it?
Disputes led to the control over the kingdom by the Roman army.
How did the Roman army get control of our land? Go ahead,
Salaki, sir. When we were fighting the Greeks, we made a treaty with the Romans to be allies with us, and they, of course, being Edomites.
Nope. Read that again.
Come on.
We made tons of treaties. People broke treaties. That ain't what destroyed us. Read that again and listen to them good.
Come on. After about a century of independence, disputes led to the control over the kingdom by the Roman army.
What disputes? Thank you. Give it up. This is so important to us. If you take nothing away from this high holy night tonight, take away the fact that our beefs are why we destroy. You want to know why we in this hood and we selling drugs and we in the graveyard and we filling up the penitentiary and all that? A little pressure on us, we turn on each other. The brotherhood that our king came to give us is the most important weapon we will ever have. Our ability to fight against forces that seek us to turn on each other is the most powerful weapon they use against us. Brotherhood is our weapon. We better know it. We better understand it. Because that's how we ended up dead. We ended up dead and destroyed. 100 years we was free. Strong and mighty as we wanted to be. And lost it all because we fighting over every little crumb. No, that's my land. No, man, I got that territory. And it's what we do today, right or wrong. We in these streets are fighting each other, hating each other. When we went to when the brothers went up to New York to give out the food, right? I brought this out on a Monday night show. Y'all heard. They was inside the shelter, rioted. I mean, you got sisters up in there with babies, with nothing. Them, the baby, and the clothes on their back. Sitting in that shelter, and you in there, you so conscienceless, you in there battling another tribe over table scraps coming from the slave master. Almost led to the shutting down of the shelter. Then the next day when we got there, of course, they tried to carry it on again. And that's when the brothers stepped up and shut it down. Right. We got a mission on our hand to build a brotherhood that's unbreakable. And guess what? The hardest person to get in that brotherhood is going to be you. You're going to be the first one mad at the brother next to you. We experts at hating the cat next to us. We masters at it. That Edomite over there, he don't never get no heat. But that cat that's sitting right next to you, oh, you're going to hate him. You're going to have every reason in the world to hate him. Some of you mad at each other right now. You're sitting too close. Right now. The demon's sitting in there right now on somebody like, man, this nigga sitting too close to me, man. We got a serious fight on our hand. And that fight is bring this brotherhood back because we got destroyed. Can I go into a little history? I think you guys will get a chair now. You finna get it. We finna get into it now. You mind? Yeah, go grab a chair. I'll take the phone back from you. We might as well do a little reading now. Yeah, go ahead, Doc. Was that the end of that? Let me let you finish it down. I'm sorry, I'll go ahead.
So I was going what's crazy about like the Christian religion, like a lot of us, most of us, grew up in the Christian church.
Yep.
And you learn about Christ in the New Testament.
Yep.
But this story was omitted. And so you don't really have that background to know about who's supposed to be the people of the Lord because of this background. So you don't have no sense of brotherhood because everybody's supposed to be your brother. Every nation is supposed to be your brother, according to Christianity.
And now walk with me on this. What did we just read in that history record right now that brings out exactly what you just talked about?
The dispute between us and...
That's one, but it was something else that we read a little bit earlier. Anybody? Take a shot. Y'all supposed to know. Come on, walk me there. I'm listening. Hit me. Come on. Don't go light. Hit it.
They wanted us to want to keep their religion.
Thank you. Give it up. Like, and listen, man. Remember this. Religion is nothing small to play with. Religion determines who you serve. Belief determines who is your master. We have our own king that died on that cross and said he would return, and we'd occupy until that time. Every religion got some rulership in it. And if you take religions lightly, you will be a slave. If you take the words of rulers whose benefit it is if everybody believes the same thing, you will get eaten alive by these nations, which is what's happening to us today, right? That's what's going on today. Man, they talking about how these entertainers are getting robbed. I'm coming back to you. They talking about how these entertainers are getting robbed left and right, and all the evil that they having some of them do. Now, and make no mistake, this ain't no new revelation. I think I mentioned this in the show last Monday too. This ain't no new revelation. The only reason you hearing about Puff Daddy and all the rest of them and all the evil that they doing, R. Kelly, is because this so-called Jew wants the empire back. He wants their money. That's the only reason you hear about it. He wants their money. He does not want them to take that stuff and walk with it. He wants all of it back. That's why, they trying every way they can to destroy them. Otherwise, you'd never hear about it. He could give a damn about it. You know what I mean? It's just entertainment towards us. But it is also a lesson for us to learn. You understand that we ought to never, ever, ever give our soul over to another nation. Okay? Somebody had their hand up. I think it was the brother right here. Oh, it was you. That's right.
Come on. So like I had a precept real quick.
Please.
Book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Like he made it clear. How you beat them. Give it up, y'all. How you beat them. If they separate themselves and give up the things they should be doing for their God, we're going to do them in. That's why America has all these religions for you, except if you call yourself the real Jews.
That's right.
That they not having. But everything else, shovel it to you, keep you blind, keep you, unaware, yada, yada, yada. And especially if it's a religion that includes everybody else, which damn near all of them do now. You know what I mean? Even Islam, you can be anything and be a Muslim. It wasn't that way at one time. One time you had to be from among them Arabs. Not anymore. You know what I mean? And why do all those religions? Why does every religion allow everybody to be part of that religion? Because it's simply a religion to bring everybody into slavery. Right. So they want, they want everybody to come in. Their rulers want everybody to come in. All right. Let's get it. Let's get first of all, let's debunk the Greeks real quick. All right, you was finished on that, on this one? We were done? There's a little bit more. Okay, let me go back. Y'all bear with me. Y'all moving that food? I hear stomachs grumbling.
10 minutes.
All right. Let's go. Any questions on what I said so far? No problem.
Come. It says to erase the historical ties of the Jews to the region, Emperor Hadrian changed the name to Syria Palestinian.
Wait a minute. Can you to erase our history, to erase our connection to the land, which is why today, if you tell black people, you the real Jews, that land that they at war over is your land. They look at you like you got 3 heads. Read it again.
Con. To erase the historical ties of the Jews to the region, Emperor Hadrian changed the name to Syria Palestina after the Philistines, who the Romans identify as the worst enemy of the Jews.
They knew who our worst enemy was, and they knew that from the days of David and before, we were fighting these Philistines. And so they said, you know what? We're going to name the land after the people who they've been fighting. Even though they've been ruling the land 100 years. But because they fighting each other, now we got it. Now we run the land. So guess what? We're going to change the name. We're going to call it after the people that they've been fighting for the longest. Like, you know, what are we playing with these people, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to apologize for the cruel, evil, abominable things that they've done to us that have taken away our culture. And without a culture, you have to. You don't have a choice. Without a culture, you have to learn something to be. Like, you're not born with, you know, knowing how to make a steak. You're not born with understanding fine art. You're not born with these things. So you learn them over time based on your culture. So if you have no culture, how do you learn what is good art? What is good food? What is beautiful architecture? What is beautiful people? How do you even learn it? You got to start from scratch. Now, if you start from scratch when I already have mine, what can I do for you? I can give you all of mine. That's us. That's us. We got their identity. We got their culture. Got their spirit on us. We got their philosophy. We've been wasted as a people. We're an abused people, man. We're an abused people, and we've been destroyed here. Go ahead, I had a hand up.
Salaki, so I just wanted to say, if I may, sir, that according to Genesis 10 and 14, Philistine, who's the father of Philistine, are Hamites or Africans.
There you
They
go.
were Hamites.
So these Philistines were our enemy for so many years. I would check that though, okay? Because I'm not certain on that. I'm gonna take a look at that history,
Right?
Because it might be talking about 2 different groups of people that became Philistine. I gotta check that. So these, because I believe these Philistines were pre the African Philistines. But anyway, I'll check it. I'll take a look at it before we leave. So anyway, back to what I was saying. They turn around and name the land after them. That's why it's called Palestine today. It's called Palestine today because the Romans gave them that name and took it from us. Okay? And now, of course, these Greek babies who's living in the land think that they have a right to that land when they never did. All right? More?
Last sentence, sir. It says, from then on, the region was known as Palestine.
That's why it's called Palestine today. The Romans gave them that name. Nothing to do with us. All right. Going a little bit more while we got a little bit of time. All right, y'all? Now, Doc, you're going to get me beat up out here, man, if you don't get that food. Everybody good for a second? Come on with it.
You know, once again, back to this history being omitted. When you don't know this and what you're teaching today is so heavy because you can't see the perspective of Christ. You can't see how we think Christ was all love to all the nations, but Christ hated the Romans.
Yeah.
Because he knows the history.
Yes, right.
He knows what our people was going through.
Yeah.
And, you know,
and specifically came to fight against him.
Like
he specifically came to be a revolutionary against him. So to come into the truth, what you're saying is so heavy. To come into the truth means you come to be a revolutionary against their empire. And the beautiful part is you don't got to do the fighting. I'll take it. You know what I mean? I'll take it if I got to do the fighting. I don't care if I got to do it or not. I'll take it either way. But if I ain't got to do the fighting, I'm be on his behind day and night. Every day. You know what I mean? I'm going to be on his case all the time, every day, because I don't even have to do the actual fight. Okay? All right. I'm going, I was going to go to this part, but I'm going to go to 578. All right? I'm going to give you a piece that we're going to read. We're going to read it as rapid as we could so we can get through it. Any questions by anybody so far? And let me tell you something. Going into this high holy day tonight, we should go away with such a zeal to want to see our nation be real. We should go away with such a zeal to restore our brothers back to their strength and sisters back to their strength. We should realize what the Maccabees did. They gave us 100 years. So imagine that, 100 years of no drug dealing. Imagine that, 100 years of not getting pulled over by the cops. 100 years of the white man not taking taxes out of your goddamn check. Excuse my French. 100 years of that. 100 years of not being ripped off by their banks. Give me some more. Sound them off. 100 years of what? Come on.
So to put a time frame on it, this happened after David fought and after the kingdom was split, after the 9.5 tribes sailed across the
After
to a new land.
All of that took place, and we were basically destroyed under the Assyrian Empire. Then we came back to Jerusalem. We were there for a while and, held it down until the Greek Empire came up.
So like you said, is there like a number year or?
Yeah, it's right in here. What did it say?
So like I said 167 BCE.
Right, 167 BCE. Okay, that should put you. That's where it started. Okay, the Hashmoneans came in, I believe, around 137 AD. So it shows you that whole time they were holding it down. Okay, then once they took it back, we ruled it all the way up to Christ. The Sadducees and Pharisees you read about during the time of Christ, those are Hashmoneans. Those are the descendants of Judas Maccabees and them. They ruled afterward. They were Levites. So they took over the land back then, and they ruled over the land. How they became Sadducees and Pharisees was through a queen that ruled over Egypt. Not Nefertiti, but another queen. She ruled over a part of Egypt, and she was real, real powerful. And some people believe she was really a descendant of us. But who knows? But she, and I could get her name if you want. But she, go ahead. Not Cleopatra. None of them. None of those. And those were titles, by the way. Those are titles that those women had. So they had other names. So, but anyway, real brief, so I don't go off track. She ruled in Egypt. Matter of fact, the map's not up. She ruled in a part of Egypt, mostly in the Sinai. And she was powerful. She knew how to raise armies. She knew how to organize armies and soldiers, but she believed heavily in our records. So what the Hashmoneans did was they began to use her as as muscle. And as she became like muscle for them, they became more powerful. And that's how they were able to keep control over Israel as they went on and on and on, towards the Roman Empire, ruling. So it was a whole dynamic that was going on over there. But it started because Mattathias decided he wasn't going to fall up under the Greeks, which led them all the way up. But they went off also. You know what I'm saying? And they went off also because once again, everybody got played out from following the proper way of the Most High. And definitely after Christ came. When Christ came, anybody that didn't fall in line with Christ ended up getting destroyed in 70 AD. Hand up. Somebody. Go ahead.
So is this the Hashmoneans you said were the Sadducees, right?
Sadducees and Pharisees.
So, when, the Christians say that, it's a scripture where it says that Christ came for his own rejected.
Yeah.
Is it talking about the leaders or is it talking about the entire people?
It's talking about the entire nation. Our whole nation rejected Christ. It wasn't just the Sadducees and Pharisees. It was the average cat on the street. All rejected Christ. Remember, even the ones that actually followed Christ, they left him to where he only had the 12. By the time he got up out of there, it was him and the 12. Nobody wanted to be under the heat he was under. You understand? He was under some heat. Peter and them was courageous as hell. Peter and them was real courageous because Peter went and cut that centurion's ear off. That's like the SWAT team showing up. And they roll up on you. Not only the SWAT team, but bust this. It's like the SWAT team showing up and the whole neighborhood come out like, yeah, get that nigga, man. We've been waiting for y'all to come lock him up. That's how they came out for Christ. When you read that story, when he was up on the mountain, he was distraught on that mountain. Remember, he was chastising them. Yo, man, you want me to get it? I'm gonna divert if y'all keep going. I ain't gonna divert. Listen, he said he was like, man, you can't stay and pray with me for a while. Remember, they were tired. They falling asleep. It's been a long day, but he distraught because he know they getting ready to come get him, and he know what he getting ready to go through. So he praying to the Father, and they keep falling asleep. And he like, man, y'all can't stay with me 1 hour because he know they're getting ready to roll up on him, and it's getting ready to get brutal. It's getting ready to get horrible. And so, yeah, it was the whole nation. It was the whole nation. Remember, the other part that it was is because remember, when he was being chastised by Pontius Pilate, that was the regular people that was out there. It was the Sadducees and Pharisees who was feeding the people to go up against him, which once again, our job is so amazing in this. Our people are insolent to righteousness right now. Like if you walk in the spirit of righteousness, our people look at you like a sucker. Right. That's why Christ said, be wise as a serpent. Be as cold as ice and understand how to be a total killer. But be harmless as a dove. Don't move on them if you don't have to move on. But you better understand how to move on. You better not be asleep on how they move. You better be like, here he come. I could do him in. But since I know better, I'm going to follow my king and follow those orders. And it's important to follow those orders of the king. It's important for us to follow that king because outside of him, nobody could deliver the nation. So what he laid down got to be followed. Like any commander. Like he know, yo, you going over the hill. All right. You got one group over here. You got another group over here. This the weapons they got. This the weapons they got. When you go over the hill, do this, this, and this. If you don't, you're going to get killed. You go over the hill, you do what he tell you to do. And that's us. So he was in a real bad dynamic. You know what I'm saying? He was in a real bad situation. And they were telling the people to go ahead and wipe us out. They were pressing Christ, pressing the people to do us in, to do him in. And so that's it. I diverted enough. All right. We good? All right. I'm going on. We'll eat tomorrow then, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm messing with 9 o'clock. All right. All right. Yes, sir. Let's do it. All right. Let me see if I can get exactly where I was at on this fast. I think I'm going to go to 578. 575, 577, 578. Here we go. Start at 3. All right. So now, just to bring it back up to speed, Christ went on the cross. He died. The ships, the flying saucers came in. They lifted him up in front of the 12. So them brothers would know it was real. It was exactly what you thought it was. It happened. They took him up. He was gone. They was distraught in Jerusalem. They went back, built the camp up. Built it up big and strong and powerful. Passed it on to the brothers that was underneath them. They went on for 40 years, roughly 35, 40 years. They went on teaching this truth. In 68 AD, once again, the Romans were getting aggravated that we had such a stronghold on our belief that we would not conform to their religions. Remember, they tried to tax us. They did all those things to stir us up. We would not bend. So around 68 AD, they arrested Christ's brother. They locked him up, put him in the dungeon. They locked up John the Revelator. They started locking brothers up because we were leading the charge, just like we are today. Same brothers, we back here again. Same sisters, back again. Here we are waking ourselves. You've been here before. This the last time, though. We win this time. I said this time. This time around, we win. Okay? So they locked him up, which caused a riot in Jerusalem. We start going off, just like we do. You know what I'm saying? When they put enough pressure on us or harm one of our black leaders or kill somebody in a real vicious, wrong way, what do? We start rioting. That's what we did in Jerusalem, which meant they had to come. And they wanted to destroy us anyway. Remember, they ruled the whole area. They ruled all the area around. Oh, I got the map. They ruled all the area around our land. They ruled it all. They had the whole world. But our land, that tribe of Judah, with them Benjamites backing them up, and them old machete-carrying Levites, you wasn't going to get nowhere. You wasn't going to get nowhere. So that's when they marched on us. And now I'm going to pick up the story from Josephus. For those of you that may not know, Josephus was a general in our military in Judea. He got conquered. He got captured by the Romans. When the Romans pretty much almost destroyed our whole nation, they offered him to be like a go-between general with us and them. And that's what he did. He became a general in their military, and then he was like a go-between between us and them. He wrote down this account of what took place. I'm going to read some of it. All right? It's a little bit, so I'm going to roll through it. Take it from 3. Go ahead. This is the records of Josephus. So for those of you that may want to know, it's the records of Josephus. It's in particular, it is the Wars of the Jews, chapter 5, I believe, right? I'll go back a page. Yeah, because that's 4. I mean 3, I think. Chapter 3, my bad. All right. Chapter 3, chapter 3, so-called paragraph 3. 3 and 3. All right. Questions, anybody, before I go further? Let's talk about it. Go ahead, Op.
Come. Now of those that perished by famine in the city, the number was prodigious, and the miseries they underwent were unspeakable.
It was unspeakable because they had surrounded the nation and cut it off. And let me tell you something, Op. When I hear about these talks about what is this thing they doing in China? The credit score, something about like your social credit scores, credit cards. I get to the little conspiracy theory, but not that much. But brother, when I hear about those things, that's like a soft kill. We in a Shalom Warrior. Good to see you. Like we in the mode of a soft kill. They slowly shrinking us down. See your gas prices done went up. See all the food is up 3 times the price it was. Rent is up like 4 times high. Everything creeping up. That's like a slow kill. It's like slowly breaking us down. You see crime rising, Shalom Warrior. You see crime rising up more and more. It's like a soft kill. That's what it feels like to me. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it certainly feels like that. It certainly feels. I was just today. Me and the brothers went down. You know, when you hang with General Kabbalah Mob, you got to eat good food. because he don't play that. So we went to Whole Foods to get some special beef. That's how he rolls. So I'm outside. I'm waiting on the brothers. I'm outside of the Whole Foods. Across the street is Duke University. You know, they a juggernaut on the East Coast. And y'all from down here, y'all know. And I noticed there was a lot of black people begging right outside of Duke. They was on different corners and all that, and they begging. And I'm watching them, right? And I'm looking at them, and I'm looking at the state they in, and it dawns on me how these brothers and sisters are really in the soft kill. There's no shortage here. There's no shortage of wealth and power here. There's no shortage of money in Durham. No short. I mean, we're talking about universities with billions, investments worldwide. We're talking about all kinds of wealth, the richest empire in the world. Yet somehow these people have ended up on a corner begging people for a few dollars and trinkets. That's what I call a soft kill. When I see that, I look at that like, that's something here that's not supposed to be here. That's the mindset we should be in, because it's definitely what these brothers had to experience. So they saw these atrocities. Give me a little bit more, please.
Come on. For if so much as the shadow of any kind of food did anywhere appear.
So if any food appeared, a shadow of food appeared, go ahead.
A war was commended presently, and the dearest friends fell a fighting.
A war broke out, and the dearest friends, down with each other, they start fighting each other. Thank God we're going to eat tonight. The dearest friends started battling each other. Lack of brotherhood. Brother, like brotherhood is a weapon that is not easily kept, but more deadly than any weapon you could build. More deadly than anything you could build, but not a weapon that is easy to hold on to. These brothers turned on each other again. And you're going to see that theme all through the scriptures in the record. You're going to see whenever we turn on each other. Listen, we are the only, go check the world. We are the only nation on earth that had to have laws that we don't join the other nation. We're the only one. Check all the nations. They don't have to make no laws for no Edomites not to join us. There's no law in America that says you white people got to stay away from black people. None. Yet they stay away from us. But us, you got to have a law. Tazaryak posted a post. Y'all heard about that post? I heard it had like 2.5 million hits on that post. That's how much beef it created with misappropriations of cultures, man. Our identity, man, is the greatest identity in the world. We had better hold on to it. Our brotherhood is the greatest. Our king gave us that weapon. I didn't give it to you. Christ gave us that weapon. Christ said, use this weapon. I know you got other weapons. Use this weapon. No greater gift than a man lay down his life for his neighbor. The law hang on these two things. Love the Lord with all thy might and all thy soul. Love thy brother as thyself. Important for us. Read.
Come. The dearest friends fell a fighting one with another about it, snatching from each other the most miserable supports of life. Nor would men believe that those who were dying had no food. But
right, they were dying, but they didn't believe you had no food. They thought you was faking it. You starving to death. Go ahead.
But the robbers would search them when they were expiring.
This is important. It said the robbers would search them when they were expired. You see these cats that's out here in the streets that's running and running and running? They among the blinded, the most blinded of our people. And if we don't wake them up, they're going to be picking off the dead bodies of our people as this beast continues to soft kill us, continues to wipe us down. Like cats think it's cool that 50 dudes run up in a spot and steal all that stuff. They don't know they being conditioned to not fight against the person who's enslaving us and destroying us, but to let it happen and to be the vulture to pick up the bones off of it. So you don't even see that the whole reason that I'm in here robbing this store is because this beast has cut my people off from having any kind of wealth. I don't even see that part. All I see is an opportunity to go up in here with my crew and gain something. Brother, that's what they did back here. And it destroyed them. It helped the Romans wipe us the hell out, which you're going to see in this story. Go, Q.
What you saying, they started the news off today about retail crime.
Right.
As gangs.
There you go.
We criminal gangs, like we the criminal conspiracy, what have you. When meanwhile they made the zealots. They made those groups that had to try to come up against Rome.
Yeah.
They had to do that, or they felt as though they wasn't going to get down with Yahushua and them trying to overthrow it right then. They had to squeeze us up out of the land. You understand? We went into captivity in that Roman Empire through them 300 years or what have you, and it finally smashed the Roman Empire. But they had to get us up out of there.
Right.
So,
like
that's what they're gonna do.
You're right. And beat us on our own inability to come together. Beat us on our own inability to come together. If you're a man that come out of a world where you trusted nobody, then you got a tall order to fight your way back to brotherhood. You better fight your way back to brotherhood. If you a man been taught or been conditioned to be a certain way with other men, brother, you better find your way back to righteousness, because you're going to need it in this near future. You're going to need it. And what the brothers and them did up there in New York, you got to have something in you to do that instead of going and scrambling for yourself. You got to have something inside you. And we're going to read tonight about a sister who had that spirit, and it got so bad they broke her. They broke this sister, and I'm going to show you to it as we go on. Keep going, bro.
Come on. Lest anyone should have concealed food in their bosoms and counterfeited dying.
Right. They said in case you were faking it and really you had some food, they went and pulled you apart, ripped up your clothes, tore up your house, did everything to find out if you had something to eat in there. That's what happened to us. And listen, you got to read this out, and you got to become mentally strong. You got to read this and say, yo, I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. I'm going to stand on my integrity. I got orders from a king. God damn this filthy place. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's damn right. Let me tell you something, Mark. Let me tell you something. The Lord said this. He said, how he put it, the bull on the highest hill belonged to me. You understand? I'm going to go and rob my own brother for what he got in his mouth. I'm not doing that, man. I'm too tough for that. I'm too strong for that. My mind is too powerful for that. Them brothers that's doing it, they don't know better. And unless they come into the truth and find this way, they're going to be caught up into this as we go on. You understand? And it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad. And it's also why the scripture said 2/3 of us are going to die here. You know what I mean? And we real close to this World War III. We in it deep. I love it every day. I love it every day. I felt like a soldier floating on the river. Now I feel like a soldier standing on my goddamn feet. That's how I feel now. You know what I'm saying? Damn right,
Come. It says, nay, these robbers gaped for want and ran about stumbling and staggering along.
They gaped for want. Who got something? What's going on? Just like we doing out here. And a want for what?
So like a gape and a want and ran about stumbling and staggering along like mad dogs.
Like mad dogs over a crumb. That means you lost something. That means your body got the best of you. That means the discipline you're supposed to have to marshal your spirit, to fight for your king, to actually succeed, you lost it. You let it go, you lost it. You in this truth, the scripture say when you come in this truth, prepare yourself for temptation, man. You understand? You got to stay on this truth. You got to get obsessive with this truth, man. You got to make a decision in your mind. First of all, don't even come to work for Christ. Don't come serve Christ and you ain't made up your mind. You know what kind of boss you got? Come on, man. You run up there, you run up there talking about you gonna serve Christ. You ain't made up your mind. You still wondering if you should get the PS5 or pay your tithe. You playing, man. Don't be playing with him. He ain't that cat. Make your mind up. I made mine up a long time ago. Y'all heard me tell the story many times. I went down there in Harlem, man. Cat told me, ask me any question you ever wanted. I said, good, because I got some questions for you. He answered all them questions for me. I knew I had found the truth. Then I was in a jam because it was like, oh, snap. I found it. Now what I'm going to do? I had to go home that night. You know what I mean? And I used to be battling all the time with my ribs mother, who was a staunch Christian. And she would always, I didn't know nothing. So she could always get me. I'd be standing in the window. She ripping me. Pop, 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 pop. I ain't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And vexing me, she tearing my ass up. Because you're supposed to be doing this. You know a Christian woman. She had the big flying saucer hat. I was jammed up. She was like a gangster on me. I think about it now. This was, excuse me. She was like a gangster. She was like Don Corleone, because you supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And here I am. I'm jammed up to one day, man. I'm sitting in the window, man. Because I halfway ain't believe in God, no way, coming up before. And I'm sitting in the window. I'm vexed as hell. She in my ear. And I just turned to the window. I looked out that window and I said, man, if you real, man, show me you real, man, and I'll follow you for the rest of my life. I ain't gonna tell you what happened next, but you see I'm here, ain't I? I'm through with it. You know what I'm saying? Damn right. That's what's real. Let's keep going.
Come. And reeling against the doors of the houses like drunken men.
Banging on your door, railing against the doors, trying to get in, just out of their mind because they weak spiritually. They weak. They can't fight. They can't fight that. They got to have that food or they're going to die. Brother, get your mind right because you about to rule the world. You know what I'm saying? Nations are going to be wondering where y'all get this knowledge from. How do you get this? What did you dig up? How is it you know how to do this? Why you dress the way you do? They ask these on small levels. Wait till they see you in your full power. The scripture said they stood upon their feet, a great and exceeding army, and fear fell on these nations. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody know black men, Latino men, you supposed to be the one running the show. That little dweeb is only in power because the Lord put him in power. Right. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. He ain't even a real whole man. You know what I'm saying? Please. Let's go.
Come. They would also.
Nobody had their hand up, right? We good? All right, I'm running. I'm speeding up. Go ahead.
Come. They would also, in the great distress they were in, rush into the very same houses 2 or 3 times in one and the same day.
Robbery gonna go on a whole nother level. They was kicking in doors 2-3 times a day. Keep going.
Moreover, their hunger was so intolerable that it obliged them to chew everything.
Chew everything. If it just see, even if it wasn't, chew everything. Go ahead.
While they gathered such things as the most sordid animals would not touch.
Even the animals wouldn't touch the things that they would touch. Dead carcasses, dead rats, whatever. If it was some dirt in the corner of the room, they go get it, ball it up, chew it to see if there's anything in it they can get out of it. That's how bad they was. They had lost their spirit, man. They had lost their spirit. That's how I was up there in Jerusalem. And brother, this feels a lot like this. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it sure feels like they killing us slowly. They've already, everything we reading about that these brothers did, we reading about it right now, right or wrong. Brothers is doing the same crime. Hey, what's up, brother? Brothers doing the same crime. Brothers doing all, the same thing. It just ain't hit this level yet. But right now, they robbing grocery stores. They doing all that. And Christ, the King, said, it'll be a time of trouble that has never been since a nation. I didn't say it. He said it. So if I'm a soldier, if I'm a warrior, I got to at least strategize the possibility and understand the mission that I got to help my nation. I got to at least understand it. And I'm not gonna lie to myself and sugarcoat it and make it sweet. Give me more.
Con. And endured to eat them, nor did they at length abstain from girdles and shoes.
Somebody give me a girdle. I know Nyathok got a leather girdle in here. Somebody please give me a girdle. Somebody got a girdle. But what am I saying? I got an armband right here. Come on. I'm gonna see who's gonna take a bite of this right here. Who's gonna have the heart to sample this joint right here? There it is. There it is. Ate they armbands, ate they girdles, they belts, ate them. That's hell. And this actually ain't the worst, because this is at least it's a skin from an animal. But they did way worse than that. Come on with it.
Con. And the very leather which belonged to their shields, they pulled off and gnawed.
Because the shields back then had leather on them. They pulled off that leather and gnawed on that leather, man, to survive. They was broken. And it is why Christ is raising you up now so that you don't get broken. Right. Understand this. Everything we reading about took place because we turned on each other.
Right.
Remember, we read earlier that it happened because we started disputing against one another. That's right. That's why it happened. So here we are. We fighting. If you fighting other brothers, understand that you doing something very dangerous to you and your whole nation. If you in conflicts and beefs with brothers over carnal things, brother, you got a demon on you. You understand? Nothing is worth breaking your brotherhood for. Nothing. You understand? That, and matter of fact, get me the scripture where Paul said, "Why won't you take low?" Come on with it, Abraham. Somebody pull that for me. Somebody pull that scripture. All right? No, you stick with me because we're going to keep reading. Somebody pull that scripture for me. This is a powerful scripture that Paul gave us for these times. Our brotherhood is everything, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? What took down the Panthers? Traitors. Keep going.
Con. The very wisp of old hay became food to some, and some gathered up fibers and sold a very small weight of them for 4 attic. Drachma?
Drachmas. Meaning they would sew up a little piece of fabric, sell it for what they call a drachma, which is a small amount of money, and then take that money and try to buy something to eat. Go ahead.
Con.
So that was the only kind of work you was going to get. You had to sew up a little fabric or something to whoever, I guess, had a little bit more. Go ahead.
Con. But why should I describe the shameless impudence that the famine brought on men in their eating inanimate things?
Right.
While I am going to relate a matter of fact, the like which no history relates, either among the Greeks or barbarians.
Meaning, I'm going to give you another piece of this history that nobody would write about. Nobody, and that's another thing. That's why they wiping out the history on slavery. Don't nobody want you to know everything that happened. You think they want you to know all the evil things that they did to us and what we suffered? Of course not. And that's what Josephus is saying. He said, I'm going to break down something else that's even worse, that nobody would put this in the history books because they don't want you to never know what was done to you. Go ahead,
Con. It is a horrible to speak of it, and incredible when heard. Come on. I had indeed willingly omitted this calamity of ours, that I might not seem to deliver what is so portentous to posterity.
Right. He said, I myself tried to eliminate it. I was going to try to eliminate it just to not demoralize everybody when they heard it. I tried to not let it come out. Go ahead.
But that I have innumerable witness to it in my own age.
Go ahead.
And besides, my country would have had little reason to thank me for suppressing the miseries that she underwent at this time.
Because Josephus took it on himself to play the role of a historian and to make sure that everybody had just what it is that they had to have in the history. So he said, man, if I eliminate this, my people are going to be mad with me for eliminating it. They're going to say, you ain't do the right thing. So I'm going to bring this thing out. Read on.
Con. Now there was a certain woman that dwelt beyond Jordan.
Right.
Her name was Mary.
Go ahead.
Her father was Eleazar of the village Bethzub.
Go ahead.
Which signifies the house of I.S.U.P.
So she was like a prominent sister. She had a little money, a little wealth, a little power. She was living beyond Jordan. So she was really living in the last of the Syrian Empire. So she probably didn't leave with everybody else because, of course, she had a little bit more. But now that the whole place was being taken over by the Romans, she had to head back over to her land. And that's where she got stuck at when this war started to break out. Go ahead,
Come. She was eminent for her family and her wealth, and had fled away to Jerusalem with the rest of the multitude, and was with them besieged therein at this time.
Right. So she fled with them back to Jerusalem, and then got caught up into this siege. Go ahead.
The other effects of this woman have been already seized upon.
They stole everything she had. She came back. They had already stole everything she had. Go ahead.
Such I mean as she had brought with her out of Perea and removed to the city what she had treasured up, besides, as also what food she had contrived to save had also been carried off by the rapacious guards, who came every day running unto her house for that purpose.
Meaning they came every day, stole her food, stole everything she had, all her jewels and everything she brought. They came and wiped her the hell out. They would come every day and try to get more and more and more from her. Go ahead.
This put the poor woman into a very great passion.
Come on.
And by the frequent reproaches and preaches she cast at the rapacious villains, she had provoked them to anger against her.
Right. They in other words, they were, this is so us. What I'm about to read, what I'm about to break down right here is so us. They hated her more because they was getting something from her every day. Now tell me that ain't us.
That's right.
They hated her more. They was more angry at her because every day they was able to get something from her. They hated her more than the people who had nothing and they couldn't get nothing from. They were more angry with her. Tell me that is not us. That is not us. We curse the Chinese man out every day, and every day we back there for 4 chicken wings and fried rice. Right. Every week. Right. Y'all got more spit in that wonton soup than you ever could imagine. Read. I didn't mean to mess up y'all meal.
But none of them, either out of the indignation she had raised against herself, or out of the commiseration of her case.
The commiseration, meaning she don't know which one took it too far for her. But this is the point where she was at her breaking point in this siege. Go ahead.
Would take away her life. And if she found any food, she perceived her labors were for others.
Right. She recognized that if I find any food, they're going to come and take it from me anyway. Go ahead.
And not for herself.
That's right.
And it was now become impossible for her anyway to find any more food, while the famine pierced through her very bowels and marrow. While also, when also her passion was fired to a degree beyond the famine itself.
Right. Meaning beyond the famine, she was infuriated at the whole state of that we were as a people. She was, furious over it, and it broke her. But go ahead.
Nor did she consult with anything but with her passion and the necessity she was in.
That's right.
She then attempted a most unnatural thing, and snatching up her son, who was a child sucking at her breast.
This was a baby. She snatched this baby up off the ground. And here's what she said. This is a broken woman. This is a woman here that gets broken when men don't have the strength to raise and fight for their nation. Go.
Oh, thou miserable infant, for whom shall I preserve thee in this war?
She turned on her own baby, like, you miserable infant. Meanwhile, this is the baby she loved. Go ahead.
This famine and this sedition.
Listen, understand something. Understand something on another level. That's you in this captivity. That's you when you lose that job. That's you when you can't pay your rent. That's you when your utilities back up. You become prone to turning on the people that care for you. That's the fight you got to fight. That you become like this oppression is designed to move you to turn against your own. That's why we hate each other in the hood. We both suffering in the hood. We both catching hell in the hood. So we hate each other in the hood. when you gotta fight against that spirit. You gotta look at that demon and be like, I'm not gonna turn on the brotherhood over this. Go ahead.
Khan. As to war with the Romans, if they preserve our lives, we must be slaves. This famine also will destroy us.
You see what she said? If we preserve our life, if we live, we're going to be slaves, which is what happened. Look at us today. We lived, we got through it. We starving and in poverty and in hell, but we lived through it. But guess what? What are we? Slaves. That's right. Like, brother, slavery is the worst thing could ever happen to you, which is why them brothers fought the way they did. But these brothers who should have been fighting with them let their pain of starvation turn against their own nation and gave Romans the way to come in and wipe us the hell out. Time and time and time again, our king requires us to truly be down with each other. Right. And when damn right. And when we are not, we are victims to every demon in hell. Okay? The average black man can't walk down the street with another black man coming towards him without both of them thinking to themselves, let me size this cat up. It's very difficult, but it is something you got to accomplish if you want to raise up Christ's kingdom. And if you don't, you're gonna lose it anyway. Right. Give me some more. I'm going over a little bit as them plates coming out. We'll stop soon, y'all. Go ahead. I got to get this, and then Q, pull me up the Maccabees and the Apocrypha. Go ahead.
Even before that slavery came upon us, it's like even before that slavery comes upon us, yet are these seditions rogues more terrible than both the other.
Go ahead.
Come on, be thou my food, and be thou a fury to these seditious varlets and a byword to the world.
Like a woman back then, her natural spirit is to serve a man. So this woman is still in the spirit of trying to serve these wicked ass men. She's still trying to, even though they took everything she got, vexed her to the end, she's still trying to serve them. But even in serving them, she just go to the limit of extreme pain. Read on.
Khan, which is all that is now wanting to complete the calamities of us Jews.
Right. To complete the calamities, let's go on and eat our babies. Go ahead.
As soon as she had said this, she slew her son.
She killed the baby. Go ahead.
And then roasted him and ate the one half of him.
Brother,
and kept...
you got to have lost your mind. Right. Killing him is one. Roasting him is another. Eating half of him is beyond the pale. That's what happened to us. That's what happened to us. And listen, that is the spirit of the people that's ruling over you, whom you love so much, whom you want to have blonde hair like them, who you want to be part of their world, who you love their money so much, who you want to be a part of their sports and everything else that has to do with them. I want to see the end of them and the beginning of Christ's kingdom. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, I ain't done yet. Y'all got to bear with me a little longer for the tape's sake. All right? Let's get the food out. Keep going.
A
little bit longer, y'all.
And kept the other half by her concealed.
Kept the other half of the baby right near her. Come on.
Upon this, the seditious came in presently, and smelling the horrid scent of this food, they threatened her that they would cut her throat immediately if she did not show them what food she had gotten ready.
They said they'd kill her if she didn't bring it out. Go ahead.
Khan. She replied that she had saved a very fine portion of it for them, and with all uncovered what was left of her son.
She uncovered the boy in front of them. I saved y'all a good part. Y'all ready? Here we go. Boop. Go ahead.
Khan. Hereupon they were seized with a horror and amazement of mind.
Like if it snapped them out of the madness they was in. It was so horrific that they was shocked. Even them, they was ravenous a minute ago. When they saw this half a baby roasted, prepared for them to eat, they snapped out of it. That's what it had to take. And a lot of that is what it's gonna have to take for us to snap out of it. If you don't turn back to the king and do his bid, then yes, you're going to get strung out on drugs. And you're going to need to get strung out on drugs so you could be destroyed to the point that you snap out of it. Yes, you're going to jail. Yes, you're going to see horrors in prison. Yes, you're going to go through all of that. Why? Because that's what it takes for you to snap out of it. We have to serve our king. If we do not, then this is our fate. If we don't carry out this brotherhood he prescribed for us, then believe you me, whatever they planning for us, whatever is happening to this kingdom, whatever destruction is on its way, you can best believe you're going to get crushed underneath it. That's right. Be wise and let that not happen to us. Right. Give me a little bit more.
All
right.
And
sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to finish this out. Go ahead.
And stood astonished at the sight when she said to them, "This is mine own son."
They were shocked. Go ahead.
"And what have been done was mine own doing.
Go ahead.
Come eat of this food, for I have eaten of it myself. Do not ye pretend to be either more tender than a woman or more compassionate than a mother. But if you be so scrupulous and do abominate this my sacrifice, as I have eaten the one half, let the rest be reserved for me also." After which those men went out trembling, being never so much affrighted at anything as they were at this, and with some difficulty they left the rest of that meat to the mother.
They said with some difficulty. They still was like, we should eat it, man. We should still eat it, man. And they was like, hell no, we ain't eating that baby. Man, I'm telling you, man, we don't know when we're going to get our next meal. They had lost their mind. That's our brothers out there. And if you don't hold strong, they definitely are not going to hold strong.
Right.
Like, you want to know how serious your job and big your job is? You had got to learn from your forefathers, these Hashmoneans, man. Okay, these Maccabean brothers. Go ahead, finishing it up, y'all. Almost done. Come on.
Upon which the whole city was full of horror.
Everybody heard about this, and they was in an uproar. Go ahead.
And while everybody laid this miserable case before their own eyes, they trembled, as if this unheard of action had been done by themselves.
Right. Go ahead. Like they felt it like it was them. Why? Because they was all running around the city, running after the meat too. So when this happened, it was like, what have we been doing? It's like you snap out of it when you going totally into the left-hand side. Go ahead.
So those that were thus distressed by the famine were very desirous to die. And those already dead were esteemed happy.
Go ahead.
Because they had not lived long enough either to hear or see such miseries.
Come on.
Verse 5. This sad instance was quickly told to the Romans.
The Romans heard about it. Here's what they said. Read.
Some of who could not believe it.
Some of them but they said, that's not true. That ain't never happened. It happened. Go ahead.
And others.
That's why cops committing suicide now. Them cops seeing the hell that's going on in our hoods, and they kill themselves. They put a gun in their mouth after a while because of the horrors that they went through. Tons of sisters who work for, what they call it down here, DHS, Child Services. They see what happened to them kids. Them sisters can't even stay on them jobs because of the horrors that's happening to these babies. It's bad. I used to drive when I was a kid. I used to drive for them sisters, and they'd come in the car broken apart, coming and find two kids tied up on a roof somewhere. You know what I mean? And you could imagine what happened to them. And they put them in the car, and sister bawling, you know what I'm saying, all the way to the hospital with these two babies. And the babies in there asking, where we going? Where we going? And she can't even answer them because she's so distraught. That's us. This is our world. This is what happened when we turned our back on the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. But strong brothers like these Maccabean brothers that had some damn heart, brothers that cared about the spiritual things more than the physical things, and got the physical things because they believed in the spiritual things. That's who we are. That's the real us, and that's what we got to put back in us. And we can't trade it for nobody, man. You understand? I'm gonna finish it up. I'm sorry, y'all. Bear with me. All right, I'm coming on. I'm on. Give me about 10 more minutes. Go ahead.
Come. And others pitied the distress which the Jews were under.
Others pitied us. Other nations heard about it. Other people outside said, man, they in hell. Like you hear about today, you be able to speak in some white woman kiss your boots because she feel bad for what happened. She know about what happened. She in some agency or some way, she hear about what we suffered, and now she ready to kiss the boot. They was upset. Go ahead.
Come. But there were many of them who were hereby induced to a more bitter hatred than ordinary against our nation.
Of course them niggas did it. They niggas, ain't they? Of course. I don't expect nothing else. You understand? That's always going on nothing. They disgusting. They ain't got no morals. They this, they that. Meanwhile, they the ones causing it. Right. But to them, it's a more bitter hatred. That's your cop that pulls you over. He mad at you for what? Because you in poverty and you in hell. He mad at you. He's so full of, let me see your license and registration. You such a problem when he's the one ruling over you. Right. He choking you to death. You selling Lucy's on the corner. Another crime. You niggas always doing it. What did that Zimmerman bastard say? They always get away with it. Right. Meanwhile, they ruling the whole goddamn world. Some were induced to a more hatred. Read.
But for Caesar, he excused himself before God.
When it got to Caesar, guess what he did? He excused himself before God. Here's what he said. Go.
As to this matter, and said that he had proposed peace and liberty to the Jews.
I said to be peaceful. I said let's come together, but they ain't want to listen. Right. It ain't my fault. What do they say to you today? At some point, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Right. You got to stop blaming the white man for your problems. You this, you that. That's what he did. That's why you need your records, man. Right. You need your records. You need your history. You need to stop listening to these fools out here. Don't care how bad it make you feel. Get the real story from your record. Your people had it for you. You understand? Go ahead.
Come.
No, let's stop right there real quick. Y'all know I got to read a couple of lines of the Maccabees and we out. All right? Come on with it, Q. Matter of fact, you got your apocrypha with you? Pull it up for me. I'm going to read a little bit of this and we done. We getting out these chairs. Is the food moving? I don't see no sisters eating. I don't hardly see no brothers eating, hell. Huh? No. Whatever way you doing, as long as we getting it out the door.
Come.
All right, let's go.
Come.
Last bit, y'all.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 41. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those.
Wait, first give me what happened when the Greeks showed up. And he went and took them to the mountains. Then give me, I just want that little part, and then the very end when we went to rededicate the temple after we kicked the Greeks behind. Let's first just take a quick look at what happened that got us into this in the first place, which is always what gets us into it. The only reason we ever fall is because some nation knows that you will be a good slave to them. That's all. It ain't all this politics and all this. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. All it got to do with is they want you to be a slave and they want to rule over you. That's it. That's it. Everything else is a smoke screen. Go ahead, Doc.
Come. Yeah, verse 3, sir.
Try it.
Come. It's the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 23.
If you could get me, Q, come on with it. If you could get me where the one cat said, let us go on to the Romans to the Greeks for before. Well, since we left them, we have had no prosperity. Give me that verse. I'm gonna read about 3 lines of that, and then I'm gonna go to the end of the ceremony, and we'll wrap it up on the tape. All right. Let's go. Like we gotta hold our nation together, man. We gotta hold it together and bring all our brothers and sisters into it. We got to add our culture to ourselves, man, and make ourselves great again. Make ourselves the people of God again. You got it? Whoever got it, pass it to me. Go ahead. 1 Maccabees 1:13, hit that.
It's the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 13.
Like we let the spirit of a warrior come out of us when it comes to doing evil or doing crime. Some brothers, man, that do crime is some of the coldest, baddest dudes you ever met. And they comfortable being a criminal. But you know what we never let come out? We never let that same spirit come out when it comes to fighting for our righteousness, because subconsciously it's even more unacceptable. Like they pumping rap music into the ether all the time. So it's comfortable to act like a gangster and want to put on that spirit, but they ain't pumping out no spirit of a righteous man at all. So when you put that spirit on, it feels like it ain't as comfortable. It's damn near like you looking for permission to be it. I'm giving you permission. Be that warrior. Come on with it. Damn right. Damn right. All right. Finish me up.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 13.
Go ahead.
Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
Because he was already coming up against us. He was already saying, y'all got to leave y'all laws. We all should be one. Same philosophy as America. They've been saying this since the Greeks. Y'all got to be together as one. We got to all leave our religions, man. We got to be together as one. And then some of them saw it as an opportunity. Some of them saw it like, oh, okay, that means we ain't got to listen to the Levites no more, because the Romans said we could do this and we could do that, which is once again another tool to destroy us. You understand? These laws in this society, forget about it. Wipe us out. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise.
Brother mentioned it early. They started building gymnasium workouts to get stronger to fight for the Romans. Go ahead.
At Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
Jump to me to the part where they came and called Mattathias to come down. Can you get that part? Where they called him to come down and to worship, and he refused. You got it? Call it out. Whoever get it first, call it out. Then somebody get me the part when we actually dedicated the temple, and I'm done.
So I got First Maccabees 2 and 14. It says, then Mattathias and his son rent their clothes.
Go above it.
Con, sir. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 7. He said, woe is me. Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and the holy city, and to dwell there.
Brother, I love that scripture. I love that scripture, man. He was like, man, wherefore was I born to see this, man? Like, that's a real cold killer right there. Right. He was like, why was I even born to see my city and my people destroyed? Brother, that you got to put that in your chest. You got to take a spoonful of that like it's cough medicine and swallow it down. You got to have it in your chest that you got to hate the condition of your people. That's right. You got to hate what has happened to us here. You got to hate every Uncle Tom that has sold us out and destroyed us and belittled us and wiped us out. You understand? You got to hate what Michael Jackson became. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Here's a boy that never became a man, that became instead a white girl, and then put him in the Wonderland, the Neverland. Made him a white girl and put him in the Neverland. You're supposed to be mad as hell behind that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not supposed to like that, man. Come on, finish me up.
When it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary in the hand of strangers.
It was given to the strangers, man, to them. That's what's going on in Jerusalem right now. It's in the hand of the strangers. Come on.
Verse 8. Her temple is become as a man without glory.
Right. That's us. We're like a man with no glory. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Speed me up to when they told them, come and make the sacrifice. Can you get that? Speed it up to that part. Anybody? And somebody get the part when they went back to dedicate the temple. Unless that was that part. Give me those two parts. And we finished. He saw it. He saw it and he hated it. He said, why was I born for this, man? And you should see it too. You should see the homeless. Don't just go by the homeless, but see them. You should look at them. Look at them. Look at the number of them. Look at the condition of them and wonder about it. Like, this is a normal person. that ended up in this situation. How? This wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we done been brainwashed to think the homeless is something special wrong with them. No, they you and me. But they in this situation. Why? How? What happened? What was done? This is your nation. You're supposed to be concerned. You got it for me?
Go
ahead.
First Maccabees 2:23. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar.
Wait a minute. Go back. Is right before that when they asked him to sacrifice? Is going down? 17, come and bring it down.
The book of First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 17.
And to water for y'all patience, y'all. One or two more lines will be done. Go ahead.
Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias,
if y'all cold, we can shut the door too. No takers. Go.
On this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city.
They went to him and tried to gas him up. You honorable, man. You great. You Michael Jordan. You Jay-Z. You this and this. Go ahead.
And strengthened with sons and brethren.
Jay-Z, when the brothers protested for the brothers that was getting killed by the cops, that bastard went down there and said, let's let it all go, basically, so we can get back to football. You know what I'm saying? Over them. He's this piece of garbage right here. Go ahead. But we love him. Like that sounds strange to some ears because we love him so much. But this cat sold us all the way out. Cats was on the knee. The NFL was in hell. They didn't know what to do, and went and got this sellout to go run up in there and pretend like all this is over. And he did exactly what he was commissioned to do and ran everybody back. Ended it and got everybody back in the damn football. Damn it to hell. You understand? Go ahead,
Come. Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandments, like as all the heathen have done.
Right. Come now and join us. Fulfill the king's command. I ain't saying you can't watch football. Y'all mad? I see brothers looking at me like, you can't watch no football no more. You can watch all the football you want. I am not watching with you. But there's nothing lawful. There's nothing wrong with you watching no football. I'm pointing out, watch the football, but don't be a slave under the football. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, don't be appalled when you see Michael Jordan floating in the air or LeBron James hitting that three-pointer. Be appalled at the idea that these bastards are able to use the bloodline of Jesus Christ to make millions. They're using the bloodline of Jesus Christ to make a mint for themselves while you starve in the streets. Like, be angry for that and still enjoy the jump shot. Damn right. Come on with it.
God. Like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem, so shalt thou in thy house be in the number of thy king's friends, and thou.
Right, you're gonna be loved by the king. You're gonna get wealth. You're gonna get power. You don't sell your soul for that, man. Don't do that. You know what I mean? And that's why LeBron stirred it up. And I heard he stirred up something else walking out on the field with his son. And guess what? Guess who called him up and told him to stop protesting? It was Obama. Obama called him up and said, you guys, it's time to stop now. It's time to stop. And he got up off of the thing after that. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead,
Come. And thy children shall be
guess
honored.
what? Guess what? Since that happened, you still dying in the street. Finish it.
Come. And thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. Verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments. Verse 20. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
He stuck to our covenant, brother. We stuck to what we stuck to. Go ahead.
Verse 21. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. Verse 22. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which is at Modin.
That's us. Later for that nigga, man. I don't bow to no nigga. Later for him. And went up there to do sacrifice on the altar right after he made the speech. So defiant of the Most High and so willing to sell his soul out, you understand, to the heathen. And that a man like that should not be praised. A man like that should not be praised. And in ancient times, we didn't praise him. Go ahead.
According to the king's commandment, verse 24, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew upon the altar, slew him upon the altar.
Killed him right on, which the altar is holy. You ain't supposed to sacrifice nothing on the altar but what the Lord required. But he was so damn angry, he actually sacrificed a human being on God's altar. Which is insane. He went up in there and slayed this cat right on the Lord's altar. Go ahead.
Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice.
He killed him too. Go ahead.
He killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down.
Go ahead.
Verse 26. Thus he dealt zealously for the law of God, like as Phineas and it did unto Zambri, the son of Salom.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. That's another account that we don't have the records of no more. There's another brother who went and fought for our nation, and we don't even have those records no more of what they did. And as you know in the story, for those that may not know, we turned around from there and we fought them Greeks, ran them out of our land, reestablished the temple, and thus we have the Hanukkah High Holy Day. The water, y'all. The water for being patient to the end. You know what I'm saying? Say again? Give me the dedication. Give me the dedication. Last point. Salak, y'all. Last point.
This the book.
If you need to get up and move around or whatever, we just gonna read it. Y'all do whatever you have to do. All right. Go ahead.
This the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52. Now on the 5 and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, and the 140th, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning. Verse 53. And offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made.
They built this new altar based on fighting them Greeks and getting them out of there. Go ahead.
Verse 54. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that was it dedicated with songs and cisterns and harps and cymbals.
Because we understood back then how important it was that the Lord was with us, and how important it was for us to maintain the mindset that these heathens will take us out anytime they get ready if we're not on our game. Go ahead.
Verse 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven who had given them good success. Verse 56. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise.
That's right.
Verse 57. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed and hanged doors upon them. Verse 58. Thus were there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. Verse 59.
That's right.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 5 and 20th day of the month Caslu, and mirth, and with mirth and gladness.
With mirth and gladness, we celebrated. We're gonna have us a drink tonight. We're gonna be loud as hell up in here tonight. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 60. At that time also they builded up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about.
Strengthen their city. We supposed to be strengthening ourselves, strengthening our brothers. You know what I'm saying? Strengthening our sisters, our families, our children. Go ahead.
Lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before.
We supposed to be watching over ourselves. lest they come and tread us down. We're supposed to be looking at our camps, looking at our lives, looking at our, they ain't out and out fighting us right now, but they wasn't after this dedication either. But they were still watching, which is what we should be watching. How much more homeless are we having? What's going on that the prices of rent is going up? His brothers being able to get jobs. His sisters able to survive. Who needs what? Who's in the shelter? Yada, 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 yada. That's the job. That's the mission. That it? Thank you, brother. That it?
Last verse, sir. Come on, verse
Go ahead.
61. And they sat there a garrison to keep it and fortified Besura to preserve
God. They was watching for their nation. We supposed to be watching for black people, our Latino brothers and sisters. Supposed to be outraged at what they doing to us on the border, in these shelters. They talking to migrants. These are our brothers and sisters. And here's the thing. Here's what's deep about it. The brothers and sisters that coming across that border, they coming from wars. They coming from nations and tyranny and all kind of evil that these brothers and sisters suffered back then.
Right.
There's some heathen in their nation using their own people to kill and destroy them. So they running the hell up out of here. These Edomites acting like, oh, they just want part of America, like America. They'd rather be in their own country. If the money was right, if y'all wasn't robbing everything from them. So if they already starting to go through it, brother, we better look at that. Look at that and do the job Christ called us to do. Go ahead, yo.
Come. That the people might have a defense against Idumea.
You hear that? Right. This dedication tonight is so that the people might have a defense against Idumea. Yes, damn right, y'all. That's it. We good now. So that's it. We done. Brother's like, is he gonna say another chapter? No, we done. We finished and done. God, good to see y'all. I thought, man, I want to see that baby. Where I thought he gone?